Day 6 of the Mexico Major, the last day, Sunday, August 22nd. Team 1 took on Empire in the grand finals. It was Kix and Intero on the cast, but Blue hopped in to replace Intero for small portions of the first two maps because Intero apparently had food poisoning or something. Okay, so what happened? 5 maps need to be selected. Maybe not all 5 are played, but it is best 3 out of 5. 7 map pool, so that means only 2 maps don't have the potential to be played, and that was Cafe and Oregon. So we saw Clubhouse, Chalet, Coastline, Consulate, and Villa, and yes, it did go all 5 maps, as you might know, and as you can now tell. So they started out on Clubhouse, which has historically been an Empire map, a strong Empire map, and decidedly was in this game. Empire wins 7-2, pretty strong beatdown here, and then they go to Chalet, which has been a strong Team 1 map, and hasn't really been seen by Team Empire, and Team 1 wins 7-2, so, you know, a little bit of parity here. Map 3, Coastline. This was supposed to be a good map for both teams, and it seemed like it was. They ended up going to overtime, but it was Team 1 that won 8-6 in round 13, I think it was. Alamau, no, which round was it? Was it not that round? Alamau had a really, okay, it was in round 11. Looks like Alamau had a really crazy play. He was playing Echo, and he got a 4K, which involved a 1v1, technically a 1v2, but a guy was downed already. And yeah, with a nice flick on the Shepard to get the disable. Anyways, so they end up winning in overtime 8-6. I don't think there was unlimited overtime in this match, but it wouldn't have mattered because the only time it went overtime, a team went up 2 right away. Unlimited overtime means somebody has to win by 2 in overtime instead of just winning by 1. Instead of just getting to 15 rounds, you have to get 2 ahead, so you can win 8-6, 9-7, 10-8, whatever, something like that. Map 4, we went to Consulate, and this could have ended the series. Team 1 could have ended it here, and it would have been like really, I don't know, symbolic or meaningful or whatever, however you want to say it, because Consulate has been the most played map of the tournament. This was the map that Empire just barely squeaked out the win against BDS on in the semifinals, although they were destroying them, and then BDS made a gigantic comeback. And it was also the map that Team 1 had to beat Cyclops 7-2 or better on, which they did. So it's, it was a very important map for the tournament in a lot more reasons than just the fact that it was the most played map. But Empire wins 7-3 pretty decisively. Team 1 banned smoke, and then Empire just kept planting on them really fast in a lot of rounds. The smoke ban just backfired on Team 1. And then we go into the final map, and it was Villa, and Team 1 banned smoke again, and you don't need smoke on Villa as much as you do on Consulate. You can use Tachanka more effectively here if you want, and you just don't need smoke quite as much anyways. But Team 1, they smoked them in the last game, the last map. Everyone was sort of hoping, I think, that this was a really close, grindy map, but just Team 1 slapped them, just like almost like they did to Liquid in the last map of that series. Unfortunate performance from Scyther and Dan. I think they both ended 0-8, but they definitely, neither of them got more than one kill if they did. I think it was 0-8 though. And it was the very last round was pretty sick when it came down to it. It came down to Always and Shepard, I think, were in a 2v3. And I don't remember, it was Lagonis and 2 other players on Team 1 were alive. And they just had to push into sight. And then one of them sees the back of one of the Team 1 players, shoots him, downs him or kills him. And then the other one, I think that might have been Always. And then Shepard, I guess, the other player, just kills another guy, brings it to a 2v1, but then they have to push in and go for a kill or a plant, and they don't know where Lagonis is, and he swings into Dining from Memorial and takes them both down 1v2 clutch to win it out, which is really nice for Lagonis. I believe he's the IGL or co-IGL of the team. From my understanding, the way they were talking after the game, he's sort of the one that brought the players together for this team, and he was having a really bad performance in the first few days. So not only was this like a really big redemption story for Team 1 over the course of the event, but I think especially for Lagonis, who was getting just absolutely smoked in their first few games. So I mean, I'll reiterate again, they lost their first three maps that they played. They lost the Sonics, I think 7-5, and then they got smoked by, I guess I could just check. Where is it? They got smoked by Cyclops first time they played them. So Oh, they went to. Oh, it wasn't 7-5. The second map that they played. So they got 1 point here, losing in round 15, and then, is it on the night? No, So they lost to Team One. They went to overtime versus Sonics, but they lost. And then versus Cyclops, they lost 7-2, which is right. No, this one. And then, but then, not big redemption arc as everyone's been talking about. Where are their games at? They go 7-5 against Sonics, which they couldn't go to overtime or else they were eliminated, I believe. And then they had to beat Cyclops 7-2 or better. If it was better, they qualified, and if it was a tie, if it was 7-2, then they went to a tiebreaker, and then they went to a tiebreaker and they won. And then semifinals, they fought Liquid, which at that point I think everybody thought was the favorite. Or no, in the first they fought who was it? Dark Zero. A weakened Dark Zero, admittedly, but they beat them. And then in the semifinals, they fought Liquid, who everyone thought was the favorite to win the tournament. And then in the grand finals, I think, if disregarding this whole Cinderella story, probably I think maybe, I don't know. I think some people thought Empire, some people thought Team One would win. And honestly, I really like Empire as a team, but I think along with like everyone ever, was very happy to see Team One win, because this was like one of the coolest wins in Siege, like one of the best stories, this was a team that was not considered a top tier team winning an international major, and I think it might be the first time. Like, and it's been a while since we've had international majors, with Empire winning the last one, and before that, G2 winning a lot. Black Dragons had one, Na'Vi had one, whoever else. But yeah, no, I mean, super cool event. I think I have a bunch of clips that I recorded during the stream at various points of just like cool moments or funny moments or whatever. So I'll throw those together and upload it. And yeah, I guess I don't really have that much else to say, except, I guess Team One really is that team.